Hello guys, myself Manoj Sharma. Welcome to TechnoSage. So in this video, we will be talking about what Vagrant is all about. Then we will be doing the installation for the Vagrant and the VirtualBox. We'll be setting up the CentOS using the Vagrant. And then while we are doing the CentOS installation, we'll be talking about the Vagrant commands in details. So let's start with what Vagrant is all about. So Vagrant is basically an open source command line tool for building and managing virtual machine environment. So you can say that Vagrant can be provisioned on the top of the VirtualBox, Hyper-V, Docker, or any other virtualization tool. So here in our example or in our tutorial, we'll be using the VirtualBox, which is coming from the Oracle. Vagrant is also widely used by developers to set up the development environment that matches the production environment. So if there is a bug in the production environment, it will take a lot of time and effort to debug that particular bug. So what developers do, they will use the Vagrant and they simulate the same production environment over their own environments and can easily debug and can give the fix more fastly. So in this tutorial, we'll be talking about how we can install the Vagrant over the macOS, but same command can be used over the Windows or Linux installation as well. So let's get started. So first in the list is the Vagrant installation. We have this link. I'll just paste this same thing in the description box as well. So this is the link where you can select the operating system that you're using. If you're a Windows user, you can click onto Windows user and proceed up with 62 or 32-bit, 64 or 32-bit installation. I'm a Mac user. I'll go to the Mac and can install the 64-bit installer, or I can use the package manager as well. So next in the checkbox is the VirtualBox installation. You can go to this link for the installation of the VirtualBox. I have pasted the similar link in the description box as well. Please do check. And you will see something called this, where you can go to the download section and can download your relevant package depending on the OS that you are using. So currently I'm using Mac, so I'll be setting up the whole thing with the Mac perspective, but everything would be same. These steps are same for any other OS as well. Then next in line is the setting up the CentOS using Vagrant. So before we proceed up with the third one, let's see the screens for Vagrant installation. Now that you have downloaded the package for the VirtualBox and the Vagrant, let's proceed with the installation. First, we'll go with the VirtualBox. So as you can see on my screen, once you click on to the installer, you will see something like this screen where you need to double click on this icon, which is a VirtualBox package. So when you double click onto this VirtualBox, something called install Oracle VM VirtualBox will come up. Just give the continue. Just give install, keep everything by default. Then it will take some time for the installation. So next comes the system extension blocked issue. So many of you might face this issue because the program will be trying to load some extension signed by Oracle and it might not be compatible with the future version of macOS. So you need to give the permission for it. What you need to do is just go to the security preferences, and under the security preferences, all you need to do is just give this allow for this particular vendor, because since this is blocked, and because this is blocked, it is not allowing you to proceed up with the installation. So just go to the system preferences, security and privacy under general tab and give the allow. Next, it will ask you to restart the system because you have changed the security preferences under general tab. So it will ask you to restart your system. Once you reboot your system, again retry the similar steps, that is double click onto the VirtualBox package followed by certain screens, and then your installation will be successful. If you are not seeing this issue, that means the version is compatible with your current macOS version. So if a user is facing this issue, they can just go to system preferences, give the allow, restart the machine. If you're not getting this issue, well and good. Next in line is the Vagrant installation. So you would be having the Vagrant installer. Double click onto the installer and you will be seeing this screen. Just go to this Vagrant package, double click onto this Vagrant package, and this install Vagrant screen will pop up. Give the continue, keep everything by default, no need to change anything, give install, and the installation would be successful in some time. Now that we have successfully installed the Vagrant and the VirtualBox, our next task is to add the box for CentOS. this is the command vagrant box add JSON-C / CentOS7. -- force is optional. -- force is needed when you are adding or basically re-adding the CentOS machine again if your system is already having a CentOS machine. Otherwise, this force is optional. No need to give it. Just give vagrant box add JSON-C / CentOS7, hit enter, and it will do some operations and it will successfully add box JSON-C for your virtual box. Next in line, you need to create a path where you need to keep your init file for the machine. So I have created a folder with the name of test01, and inside test01 I am giving vagrant init JSON-C / CentOS7. So this command will place the vagrant file into your directory, the directory that you are giving, and this vagrant file is actually needed in order to set up your machine. So now you can just ls and can see that there is a vagrant file present over there. So now we have added the box for the CentOS and we have created the initialization file, that is the init file. And now what we need to do is we need to give the command vagrant up. What it will do, it will bring the machine into the up status. It will import this JSON box and it will create the machine into our virtual box and will make it up. And then you can check the status whether your virtual machine is running fine or not. Just give the command vagrant status and it will give you the status. So right now, since I have given the vagrant up command, it is in the running mode. You can go to the UI of the virtual box. There you can see that the machine would have been created. By default, it will take the folder name where the vagrant file is kept, and you can see that the status is running over here. Now next is we need to, since we have already created the machine is in running status. Now we need to connect to the CentOS machine. So how to connect it? Just give the command as vagrant SSH. Once you give the vagrant SSH, you can see that the login terminal will change to vagrant@localhost. So the host name would be the localhost.local domain because we haven't set explicitly the host name and the IP for our system. So next what we will be doing is we'll be tweaking the vagrant file that is kept or have created with the init command, and we'll be setting up the IPs as well as the host name for our machine. I have used Sublime Text Editor. You can use any other editor like Notepad++ or any other editor of your choice. Just go to the path where the vagrant file is kept, double click to open it, and you will see something like this by default. All you need to do is you need to give the entry named config.vm.hostname is equals to this, is equals to testbox1 I have given for my reference. So what it will do, it will set the host name to testbox1. So by this entry you can give the host name for your machine. Next is to give the IP address and the network information. So give config.vm.network private network IP, and you can give the IP. It will take this IP as an IP for your machine. Just save this file, and since you have not set these parameters before vagrant up, so what you need to do is you need to run the command vagrant reload. What it will do, it will reboot your machine, and then the changes that you have made into your vagrant file will come up. So I have given the vagrant reload and it will reload or reboot the machine. You can see booting VM, it will reboot the machine and it will take the host name, IP, what I have set in the vagrant file. So now since the machine has been rebooted, I can again go to the vagrant SSH, and now I can see that it is no more localhost, it is now the testbox1, the same testbox1 that I have set as the host name. And if I go and check for the IP with the command ifconfig, I can see that my IP is set to 192.168.56.0, which is the same IP that I have kept over here. So this way you can change or set the host name as well as the IP for the newly created vagrant machine. Now if I want to delete the vagrant machine, how I can do it? I can just give vagrant destroy and it will destroy my VM that is kept or have created on the virtual box. So you can validate it from the UI of the virtual box. So you can see there is no machine now being there. Earlier we have seen how we can create the single system and can tweak the IP and the host name from the Vagrant file. Similar actions we can perform over the multi systems, and everything or every actions we need to take on the Vagrant file itself. Under my username I have created a folder shell, and under shell I have created a multi-system folder. So I've already kept the Vagrant box. So all I need to do is I need to just create the initialization file, that is the Vagrant file. So I'll just run the Vagrant init JSONC CentOS. So next in line, I'll go to the multi-system, I'll open up the Vagrant file, and in the Vagrant file what I will be doing is I'll be giving the host name and the network information for both the machines, because here I am creating two machines. So similarly you can create multi systems like 3 machines, 10 machines, 20 machines according to your needs. So what you need to do is just give config.vm.define, just define your name. I have defined as test01 as my first name, do test01, and then give test01.vm.hostname, test01.vm.network. Just give end, because this will end this particular section. Again open up another section, define test machine 2 and give the hostname and the network information for the test machine 2. So this way you can create two machines. But remember, if you're giving test machine 0 test 01 here, you need to call this hostname or VM from test 01. Now what you need to do, just save this file and give Vagrant up. What it will do is it will bring these both the machines up with the virtual box providers. So you can see it will import the base box, because since we have added this base box, and out of this base box what it will do, it will create two machines out of this single base box. Once the Vagrant up will work fine or successfully executed, you can see two machines created under the UI. And again I'll iterate that the name would be same as that you have kept it for the path, that the path we have kept it like multisystem / test01 multisystem test02. Now if you want to shut down the machine, what you need to do is you can just give Vagrant halt, and with the help of the Vagrant halt it will gracefully shut down all your VMs. And now if you want to specifically halt single system, you can just give the name of the machine like Vagrant halt test01, Vagrant halt test02. Similarly, if you want to connect to single machine, just give Vagrant SSH test01, it will connect to test01. So you can see that both the machines are in the powered off state with the help of the Vagrant halt command. So these were the most important commands that we discussed over here, that we want to add the CentOS machine to our virtual box. So we can use box add, Vagrant box add, and JSON CentOS 7. Then how we can create the initialization file for the virtual machine that we are going to create. So once we have created the initialization file, we can make our system up, the virtual machine that we have created inside the virtual box, to up state. Then we can check the status of the virtual machine, that whether it is in running state or it is in the halted state. If you want to connect to the virtual machine, we can use Vagrant SSH. Reload is that if you have made any changes to your Vagrant file, you can reload the system. It is just basically the restart of the system and nothing else. Next is Vagrant destroy. Destroy is used when you want to destroy your system. System in the sense that you have created, that in the examples we have created certain VMs. If you want to delete those VMs, just give Vagrant destroy and it will destroy, it will delete all the VMs that you have created. And suppose you have two VMs and you explicitly want to delete just one VM, just give Vagrant destroy followed by the VM name or the host name like test01 or test02. Then Vagrant halt will shut down your VM. It will not destroy or delete your VM, it will just shut down your VM. So this is pretty much on the Vagrant side, how we can install the Vagrant system, how we can create the CentOS or the Linux machine for our learning purposes. I'll keep everything in the description box. Please do let me know what you want additional part. If you want this PPT, I'll also place the link in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.